Hello, I'm Adam Cole, student pastor at 9th and O Baptist Church, and this is Devotionables, brief devotions for busy people. I've never had a life verse. I've always felt there's a lot of pressure behind having a life verse, and yet the couple verses that we're going to go through today constantly run through my mind over and over again in every step of my Christian walk. And that is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. To trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. These are two verses that are applicable to every believer in every season. In the highs of things are going great, things are going really, really well, they encourage you to keep your eyes on the Lord, to keep humble even in great circumstances. In seasons of despair and turmoil or guilt of sin or in times of need, again, these verses are there to help us as believers continue to trust in the Lord, who's in control of all things, whose mercies are new every morning. So this is a section of verses for us for every season. It's also a passage for us of dedication. What does it tell us? To trust your whole heart, every part of our being. It is not reserved for just different sections, but no, all of our will, our intellect, our desires, our motives are what to be submitted to the Lord. In all of our ways, we're to acknowledge Him. Again, there's not a single thing we do, from getting up in the morning to eating cereal for breakfast to anything else, that we are not to acknowledge the Lord in. And the promise is great. When we do this, He will make our paths straight. Our lives will be filled with blessing. Now, it doesn't mean we'll have perfect lives all the time, but God will clearly direct us when we trust in Him, acknowledge Him in all our ways. And this doesn't mean that we just say, okay, God's real, God's whatever. Like I almost picture the guy that hits a home run, hits home plate, gives a little, okay, God, thank you for that. No, that's not what it means. To acknowledge the Lord is to say that, no, you are clearly God of the universe, and that your wisdom, your knowledge is best. And this brings us to the fact that this passage is one of humility. I had a professor in college, and he talked about the wisdom of the Lord, and how we as humans, we constantly think we're pretty smart. Like, well, okay, we know a lot. He would say, Adam, imagine you went to a clam. What does a clam know? Clam knows water. Clam knows dirt and pebbles and like little tiny fish that it may eat, whatever, sand. A clam has no idea what grass is. He has no concept of the sun, no concept of the clouds, no concept of air. And if you were to go to this clam and tell this clam about, hey, listen, above the water, there's a whole other world out there. There's grass, there's a moon, there's stars, there's technology, there's a light bulb, there's socks. The clam would have zero ability to comprehend anything you're saying. And yet, we are that clam compared to God. God sees the entire reality from beginning to end, and we have such a limited scope. And yet so many times we as humans say, no, we're the ones that know best. We know exactly what we should do. This verse is here to remind us in humility, trust in the Lord with all your heart. This is what true wisdom is. Proverbs is a book of wisdom. And these are two verses that sum up true wisdom, to trust in the Lord with all of our heart, not to lean on our own human, fleshly, sinful understanding. In all our ways acknowledge Him, and He will make our paths straight. This is the promise of our obedience. Thank you for listening.